All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. So today I'm doing two jobs. I'm doing a Taskrabbit job and I'm doing a gig app job after that. And this video is not about that. It's not about that. It's about Taskrabbit. It's about a bad experience that I had with Taskrabbit. I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm using this video to do that. And the customer that I'm helping is the same customer from that job that I had a bad experience. So that's why this is the perfect video to do it. So that's what this video is about. I told you guys I'm kind of burned out of editing videos on YouTube. I'm not showing the job anymore. Like, I'll do it every now and then, but not all the time. So I'll show you like what I'm doing, like what I'm about to do, but I'm not gonna show you the actual job. I'm using my Rumble page for that because I don't edit on Rumble. Rumble, I show you the whole job because I want you to see what it looks like, how much work it is and how long it takes, all that stuff, and my interaction with the customer. So that's what I use Rumble for. I explained on my Rumble page why I have to edit on YouTube. I have to. I can't just not edit. So anyways, not about that. That's what this video is about. This is a returning customer, and I told you guys that Taskrabbit is the absolute perfect app for my business. And it's not a gig app. Taskrabbit is not a gig app. It is something that you can use to actually build your business, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna explain at the very end why I'd rather do a Taskrabbit job than a direct booking. So anyways, this customer is a returning customer. You guys should recognize this this job. It's actually from this video right here. That's one of my highest paid Taskrabbit jobs that I've ever done. I think it was like $600 something I made. So I'm helping this customer again, not gonna show it. That's not what this video is about. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna do that job, then I'm gonna do my other job, which is a gig app order, and then I'll get into my very, very bad experience with Taskrabbit, and also have an experience with expedite catering order as well. So I'll share that on this video. All right, guys, I'm here. This is the building right here. You guys should recognize it. I've been here before on that other job. That job took a long time. It took like, I want to say like 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours. This job should not take that long. It should be half of that, probably about 2 or 3 hours. And according to the customer, we are just moving boxes, mostly boxes, some small furniture, like like side pieces to like tables and stuff, so nothing really heavy, and 3 office chairs, and that's it. So all right, man, let's knock this job out real quick. All right, guys, so like I said, I'm just gonna show you what I'm about to do, and then I'm gonna get to work. So got all my equipment on the dolly. Floor 6. So this chair, 2 more chairs in there. Bam, these boxes, these boxes, this stuff here. Box. And you said these boxes in here?
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much everything with the pink sticky note up there.
Gotcha.
Just the pink ones.
All right, perfect.
And then these. These little things.
Got it. All right.
That should be it.
All right.
Thank you. And yeah, I don't know if you saw the boxes there, but we're gonna bring those too.
Gotcha. No worries. All right. All right, guys, you see what I'm doing? I'm gonna make probably about 7 or 8 trips. So mostly boxes, and the customer's gonna help me as well. So it should be pretty quick. Because of the elevator, hold on. I think a tow truck about the repo. He about to tow somebody. What was I gonna say? Oh, because of the elevator, it takes a while. It'll probably take about an hour to do this. So just boxes like this, I'm bringing them down probably about 7 or 8 at a time, and it's gonna load up. So we're going short distance to a storage unit that has an elevator. So very easy job. So this is kind of like, we moved all the big stuff last time, all the office furniture, and now we're just moving the boxes. And that's it. So I'm not gonna show any more of this part. You guys see what I'm doing, very easy. Let me tilt this camera down a little bit. All right, there we go. And like I said, I use my bungee cord to keep everything nice and tight. So don't we hit a bump or something, you don't want the stuff to fall over. All right, y'all, that's it. I'll be done next time I come back on. All right, guys, just gonna unload this real quick with the customer and into the storage unit right here. Alright guys, just finished that job. It took exactly 2 hours from start to finish. So I'm only going to invoice for 2 hours. This customer tipped last time, they'll probably tip again. I might update you what it is, what the total pay is, but this is what it is based on the 2 hours. Definitely worth it. It's a one-man job. Took 2 hours, so very easy. So anyways, I'm going to do the other job, and then actually, you know what? Yeah, let me do the other job, and at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you about the Taskrabbit job that I had a bad experience on. All right guys, I just picked up from Best Buy. I'm not gonna show this order at all. It's gonna be an easy drop off. So it's just a washer and dryer, and this is what it looks like. They didn't bubble wrap it, they just put some shrink wrap on it, so I'm using my blanket to cover it. So we're gonna get that dropped off, washer and dryer, single story house, and then I'll get into the Taskrabbit job. All right guys, so like I said, I'm not gonna show this delivery. Let me show you where we're going. I'm just waiting on the customer. He's like 5 minutes out. So I just got everything set up. Got the dryer on the washer on the appliance dolly, and the dryer on the hand cart, and no stairs or anything. So once I finish this, I'll get into the core of this video. All right, guys, so I apologize. It's been literally almost 2 weeks. So this is literally almost 2 weeks later. I'm finishing this video. I've been crazy busy, and I'm not even gonna get into that. So I just want to finish this video. As you can see, got my hair. I had to wash my hair, took the braids out. So this is like almost 2 weeks later. So I apologize, but let me just share this experience. So it was on this video. I'll put the link in the description, but I helped this customer. This was my highest paid Taskrabbit job. It took about 6.5 hours. I made like 630 bucks, something like that. So that customer, obviously I just did that job. I helped her again. And I just want to share that experience, that $600 job. This is the experience I had with Taskrabbit. So let me just get through it. So basically, I didn't get my money. So I got my, usually the pay takes about 3 to 5 days. It'll be direct deposit. I got the tip. The tip was $85. That's all I got. I did not get the rest of the money. So I was wondering what's going on. So after about a week or two, you have to wait at least 5 business days. I reached out to Taskrabbit to see where's my money at, what's going on. So anyways, they told me to reach out to the customer. That's normally what they say. So when you contact Taskrabbit, it's automated. So the automated message will tell you if it's a pay issue, reach out to the customer. So that's what I did. I thought maybe the customer didn't pay the whole amount or what was going on. So anyway, that's where I'm gonna start from. So this is screenshots of the messages that I sent the customer. So this is the day that I finished the job. I'd worked 6.5 hours, and the customer is in the purple. She said, thanks for hiring, I'm sorry. I told her, thanks for hiring me. And this is a automated message that you send the customer when you're done. Thanks for hiring me for your task. If you enjoy working with me, add me to your favorites after reviewing the task to easily rebook me in the future. Book me directly with the following link. And I sent her my profile link. So you could do that on Taskrabbit. You could build your business through Taskrabbit, and the customer can rehire you, and you can give them discounts and all that stuff. So anyways, I always upload photos. I show photos of the finished, job. There's a lot more photos. I'm just showing a few. So that's that, right? So this right here is the same day, right? The customer, after I sent that message, the customer said, thanks for all your help. Long day, but great job. I said, no problem. Thank you for the opportunity. And then August 12th, this is the next time I reached out to her. So I hadn't got my pay. I just got the tip only. And I'm reaching out to her right now. I said, hello, ma'am. Sorry to disturb. Can you confirm payment? I still have not received payment for this job. Thanks. She said, hi, Chris. It should automatically go through when you close out. So basically, she's letting me know that she did pay. Not sure why you ain't getting the money. So I'm like, okay, go to the next one. So this is the message that she sent. She sends me proof that she paid. And this is good information for you because I didn't realize how much people pay on Taskrabbit. So she said, hi, Chris, it should automatically go through when you close out. And then she uploaded a photo of a screenshot that she paid, right? So I have a better photo of this. So this one right here. So you can see it clearly. So this is the customer's phone. This is what she sees. This is what she paid. So the date of the job, right? The rate, it says $88 an hour. So I charge $80 an hour. The customer pays an additional $8 per hour. That's Taskrabbit's fee. So when I charge $80 an hour, the customer's actually paying $88 an hour. So you gotta keep that in mind. 6.5 hours, the trust and support fee. That is the huge fee. And that, I believe, is based on the hourly rate as well. So that's a huge number because it was a long job. It was 6.5 hours. So that, I think it comes up to like $30-something an hour, something like that. I'm not gonna do the math, but I think if you divide that by 6 hours, that's what she paid basically per hour. So that is the support. That is the protection that the customer pays for. So that's like the insurance, at $10,000 of coverage. If I damage something, she's covered up to $10,000. So she has to pay that on top of the $88 an hour. And then sales tax was $12, no additional expenses. And then she still tipped me. She tipped me $86, right? So the total that she paid was $873.62. Wow. So without that insurance, the trust and support fee, and the sales tax, that's like $200 less than what she would have paid. And then the tip, she gave me a tip. She would have paid $200 less. So it would have been like 600 something bucks. She paid $873. So you got to keep that in mind. These customers are paying a lot of fees. So anyways, I think it's good though. It's worth it because, like I said, it's the insurance. It's like buying additional insurance. But I think that's a lot. $196 for 6 hours of work. I think that's a lot. But anyways, hey, the customer's paying the fee, not me. So it could be the other way around. So then she says, it says completed on my end. So she then responds again. She says, hi, Chris, I spoke with support and they flagged this for fraud due to how high the amount is. It should be cleared by them shortly. Just wanted to fill you. I think she meant fill you in. Thank you for bringing it to my awareness as well. So my response was, oh, wow. Okay, thanks so much for the update. Not sure why I've seen payouts way higher than that. Sorry this happened. Support emailed me today saying it was going to their fraud department. Anyways, should be good to go. Thanks again. So I didn't like that I had to reach out to the customer to find this out, but she reached out to support. I guess she said what happened, cleared it up, and it had to go to the fraud department. Let me just finish this and I'll explain what happened. So she said, feel free to reach out if it's still being weird. So I respond, true. I wish they told me something so I wouldn't have had to reach out to you, reach out to the customer. Thanks again. Should be good to go. I'll advise if any issues. And she said, yeah, same here. Thanks for keeping it cool. So she's saying that because she probably thinks I'm like pissed off or whatever. And I'm not. I made sure she knows I'm not pissed off about this. At least not with her. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's that. Okay. Now, this is the email that I sent. And I sent this email probably like 3 times. I said, any update on this? I still have not been paid. The customer told me she spoke with support to confirm that there is no fraud and she paid in full, including a tip, which is all I received. I'm missing money from 6.5 hours of work. And then they respond, this is on August 13th. Due to the high volume of this invoice, this needs to be escalated to our fraud department to ensure everything is correct. They will review the invoice and process payout if everything looks correct. So, let me see. Let me just finish this real quick. So this is August 17th. Same message. I sent it out. What's the update? What's the update? All that. Still waiting on my pay. Thanks for contacting Taskrabbit. Apologies for the delay, but this invoice is still being reviewed. This payout will appear on your account once the review has been completed. In the meantime, please let me know if you need support with anything else. So, let me see. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So, this customer. So basically, what I found out that happened is when I first got the job, right? When the customer reached out to me for the first time, I always have the customer upload photos. I say upload photos of what I'm moving, so I have an idea of how much room I need and how long it's going to take. The problem was the customer uploaded photos, but it was only of the 6th floor. There was also furniture on the 3rd floor that needed to be moved, and it was a lot of furniture and a lot of boxes. So I was not aware of that. So anyway, and that happens, and I wasn't mad about it. It's just, you kind of get used to that. The customer never shows you everything. So on Taskrabbit, no one like goes to the place and looks at the actual job. You kind of trust the photos that the customer sent you. So that's what happened. And so I underestimated. I estimated based on what she showed me to be about 3 hours. It's gonna take about 3 hours, and with her help, she's the customer assist. And obviously it took way longer. It took double that time because there was 2 floors that I had to clear out. So it took 6.5 hours. And when I booked the job, the Taskrabbit job, I booked it for 3 hours. So what happened is when I completed the job, I invoiced her for 6.5 hours, but my Taskrabbit booking said 3 hours. So I think they were thinking that it's fraud on my end, like I'm trying to scam the customer, or what happened is there are taskers that are not following the rules. They're having people help them that are not taskers, and that's against their policy, and you can get deactivated for that. So they'll hire one of their buddies to help them, and then they'll charge the customer double. So it'll be a 3-hour job, but because they have a helper that's not a tasker, they'll charge them for 6 hours so that they can pay with that extra 3 hours. They'll pay their helper, so double charge the customer, and that's going to cover the helper fee. I know Taskrabbit is on to that, and they're very, they check for that. So you don't want to do that. You want to work with someone that's a tasker, that's a approved tasker, and all you have to do is put their profile in the chat. You put their profile in the chat, and the customer has to book them directly. So that's how you stay out of trouble. If you need a 2-man job, you work with 2 taskers, put your buddy's profile in the chat. So I'm thinking it was one or the other. Either they thought that I was trying to pay a helper and do it by charging more hours than I did actually work, or it just didn't look right. I said 3 hours, but I ended up charging her for 6.5 hours. So anyways, that's what I think happened, and that's the reason I'm sharing this with you, because I guarantee that's going to happen to you. If you're on Taskrabbit, you're going to deal with a problem like that. So the issue I had with Taskrabbit was that they could have easily fixed that. They could have fixed that by simply reaching out to me and say, hey, you put 3 hours, but you invoiced for 6.5. What happened? And I would explain that to them. And then they could reach out to the customer and verify and say, hey, originally the job said 3 hours, it ended up taking 6.5. Is that accurate? Is that right? And the customer would have told them what happened. Easy fix, no need for a big investigation. Easy fix. That was my issue. And the other issue was that they didn't reach out to me. They never told me anything. So I'm just missing payment, and I don't know why. They could have emailed me right away and said, hey, this invoice was flagged for possible fraud. Here's why. We're just going to investigate, and you'll get your money as soon as we're done or whatever. I've been cool with that, but they didn't say nothing. So I'm like, I'm just waiting on my money. I'm like, did she not pay or what's going on? So anyways, I just want to share that with you guys. That's what happened on that job. I ended up getting paid. It took about 5 days after I started reaching out to them. It took about another 5 days, and finally cleared it and paid me. And the customer had to reach out to support and confirm everything. So I didn't like the fact that I had to bother her about it. I feel like Taskrabbit could have handled that way better than me having to reach out to her and say, hey, did you pay me and all that stuff. And just, anyways, that's that. So that's my experience. It was not a good experience. I don't like that. I wish they would be better with that. Like, if you're gonna have an investigation or there's an issue with pay, let me know. Just send a nice courtesy email. Hey, your payment's gonna be delayed for this reason. And then I wouldn't have to be worrying. So anyways, you're gonna experience that. The last thing I wanna say to end the video is so this customer had an option. She could have hired me on Taskrabbit, or she could have hired me directly. She has my business information. I always prefer, especially on a moving job, not delivery. If I do a delivery, book me. But if I'm doing a moving job, book me on Taskrabbit. That's what I prefer. And that's what she did. She booked me on Taskrabbit. She didn't have a problem with that. This is a business corporate card, so money's not really an issue. So if it's my choice, I prefer to do moving jobs on Taskrabbit. That's the best option. And the reason why I told you guys, I did a video on that, I told you that it's the protection. So it's organized. You put everything in the chat, And on that note, everything in the chat, here's my recommendation. If you're in that situation where you're doing a job, let's say you estimated 3 hours, you booked it for 3 hours, and it's actually gonna take 6 hours. I don't know if you can adjust it while you're on the job. I never had that issue before, so I never had to do it. So I don't even know if you can. Maybe you can. If you can, I would do it right then and there. If you are able to adjust the hours, do it, and then put it in the chat. Put it in the chat that, hey, this job's gonna take longer, and then have the customer approve it. Tell the customer to respond in the chat and say that they approve of the additional hours. That's gonna protect you, because that's all Taskrabbit looks at is the chat. What was agreed? That will clear that up. If you're not able to do it, make sure you put it in the chat. So just, if you can't adjust the time after you start the job, just put it in the chat that this job's gonna take longer than we thought. Take a lot of photos of everything and just cover yourself. So that's my recommendation. But back to what I was saying, I prefer Taskrabbit because of the protection. So moving job, everything's in the chat, you're protected. The items that you're moving, you're protected. The customer has that insurance covers $10,000. And Taskrabbit is the middleman on that. When you do a direct booking, you're doing a moving job, everything, your whatever contract agreement that you have between you and the customer, that's between your business and the customer. So you're liable for everything, all their stuff. I do have cargo insurance, but I mean, you're liable for everything. So you have to take care of the customer. You can't leave them hanging. You can't break stuff and not take care of the customer. It's a lot more liability. So Taskrabbit kind of protects you from that. And that's why I prefer to do moving jobs on Taskrabbit. So I'm currently working on building my clients on Taskrabbit, and I promote Taskrabbit. I don't always promote direct bookings, especially for moving jobs. Deliveries, yes. Direct bookings for moving jobs, I try to use Taskrabbit as much as I can. So it's a great tool. It's not a gig app. Do not treat Taskrabbit like a gig app. That is a business. It's like Thumbtack or any other app like that. Run your business through it. You're gonna build clients. The clients are protected. You have a middleman of protection, and it's the best way to do business. Based on what I'm doing, that type of job that I just did, best for TaskRabbit. So anyways, I don't want this to be too long. I did want to share a incident that happened with Expedite, but I'll talk about it on a different video. So anyways, sorry for the delay. I'm gonna complete this video now. I got some new content coming, and y'all stay tuned. That's it, man. Y'all have a good one. I'll catch y'all on the next one.